Hello, hope you're all doing well. I'm going to try to do these things more frequently. Start off right away, just tell you that it's my birthday the day after tomorrow. Thank you very much to everyone who has sent me cards and best wishes over the internet stuff. So I appreciate that. Although I'd rather not have any more birthdays. I'd like to just stay where I am right now. But anyway, one of the messages that I got was a lady asking me why I don't go back to acting because the last job I had was a movie called Safe Harbor, uh, which we shot in 2005 and I think it aired in 2006, and that was pretty much it for me. I felt pretty good because I left on a high, but I had to leave for personal reasons because things were happening at home that I needed to participate in. And the question was, why didn't I ever go back? Well, for the longest time, I was involved in business, trying to make a living, taking care of my family, stuff like that. But even afterward, the last 3, 4 years, when my kids are all grown up, I could have possibly got back into it. But the thought never entered my mind because I would have to start auditioning again. You see, when I left in 2006, I wasn't auditioning. I had a reputation, so I was continually going from job to job to job, sometimes doing two jobs at once. I was working on Stargate once and another TV show on Vancouver Island, and no joke, I'd spend half the day at Stargate and get on a helicopter, fly to the island, and shoot the other show and come back. Now, of course, you see, actors get to sleep in their dressing rooms, so it wasn't as if I was missing any sleep. But auditioning is a horrible thing. Uh, it's a flawed process in that you don't. It's unnecessary. Sometimes you have one, two, or three callbacks. You know, people are trying to decide between one person and another, and you really can't tell much about a person's ability to act in an audition at all, or even what they might do with the role in a different environment or with some discussion of some kind. So, anyway, I hated auditioning because I always had to prepare, and then you do 10 or 20 auditions. You spend half a day working on them, put your heart and soul into them, and then you'd hear absolutely nothing. And that is very discouraging, and I just didn't want to go back to it. So, criticize me if you like, but I'm not doing it. Anyway, okay, I wanted you to know that probably some of you noticed that I put this series, Supernatural Fandom, up on Focus on Photography by Pulse on Facebook. They have a place where you can put series there. So I put the series, episodes 1 through, I think it says 1 through 9, 1 through 10, that's right. But 9 is a double episode, so that's 11. And then I have a bonus episode about the Impala that I will post later, sometime. I also intend to post all of the trailers that go with it. The best one of those, if you don't know what the show's about or anything to watch, is the sizzle reel. The sizzle reel is 9 minutes, and it gives you a really good idea of what the movie is about. Now, the series and the movie are different in that the series focuses on conventions and the fans that go to the conventions a little more. It does have all the actors in it too, but it focuses a little more on the fan and the convention than the film does. The film focuses on the actors reciprocating their feelings toward the fans. So it's kind of like you hear about what the fans think of the actors, and then in the feature film you hear what the actors think of the fans and the conventions and the process and that kind of stuff. It's very intimate. It's one of a kind, and it is all 100% positive. We didn't let any negative stuff come in there. So if you're at all a fan, or you've been a fan, part of a fandom, I recommend it. So you can see that soon. I will put the feature film up, both on Focus on Photography by Pulse on Facebook, but I've also created a YouTube page, and that is under my name, Mitch Kosterman. And if you go there, you'll see that I have already posted, I think, the sizzle reel, a couple of bits of stuff, plus all 10 episodes, including the double episode, that you can watch. Each episode is 22 minutes, so it's a full-size half-hour show. Okay, so remember now I've got Focused on Photography on Facebook. We have the shop, Pulse Shop. We have now the YouTube channel and a Pinterest board, of course. But we also have, I mean, what we actually started with was Vancouver Production Pulse magazine, and that's an online magazine or a blog, if you want to call it. And that is at yvrproductionpulse.com, just like my email, editor at yvrproductionpulse.com. And if you go there, you will see a bunch of articles that I've already written, and I intend to continue to write them. They're about the film industry. Some of them are just interesting stories. Some of them are about things that happened to me. Some of them explain the business a little bit. Some of them are about Cliff. So you can go and check those out right now. I think there's probably, I don't know, 20 or something up already. And I'm going to talk about the first one right here, just to give you kind of an idea. I had one that described all the jobs and a little map, so you can see on May 23rd last year that I put up. You can see that. I can't remember what else, but I put up one that I called First Kick Glenn Fry in the Head, because I started as a kind of a stunt actor. We used to call them stunt actors or handy actors or something like that. So because actors got paid more than stuntmen, you get paid the actor rate, and you only get paid actor rate if you say something. And I think in this case I said, "Mr. Newcoy says hi." And that's it. And I kicked Glenn Fry in the head. And his girlfriend walking down the sidewalk with him was Debbie Harry. Now, to some of the older people, you're going to recognize those two as extremely iconic rock and roll people. Maybe some of you younger people don't know who they are, but you have definitely heard their music. Also, Debbie Harry was fairly good looking. Let's put up a picture. Okay, what you can do when in that article, you can enjoy the fact that I tell a very embarrassing story about myself. As you know, I'm autistic, and that means that I don't pick up on the clues right away. So I tell a little story there about me and Debbie Harry. And for some of my friends, that is their favorite story. It makes them laugh the most at my expense. Somebody asked me about stunts. And I hear all the time people who are not involved in the business saying stuff, and I don't fault them for it. But I remember working for various businesses, and they'd always like this, and journalists too. They'd love to start an article, and it says lights, camera, action, right? That's not something that's said on a movie set. Maybe it was 100 years ago, but it's not something that's said now. What you hear now is the camera says they're ready. The sound says that they're speeding. And the lights are already lit, or we wouldn't be doing this, and then the director calls action. So it's the camera and the sound that we need to know are going. The lights are obvious. But those kind of things, those kind of mistakes, bugged me when they got involved in marketing that I had something to do with. And I can remember saying to one company, that's not something that ever gets said in the movie business. And you want to portray yourself as a person in the know. And if you use this in your marketing, it's like a big flag that says, I don't know shit. Anyway, big mistake. But stunts is another one. You hear all the time people saying, oh, he does his own stunts. Like Tom Cruise or somebody. And somebody else asked me about Jared the other day. Well, I don't care who the actor is. He doesn't do his own stunts. Okay? There are some things that he can do, some stunts, but he cannot do all of his stunts. First thing first, insurance company wouldn't be very happy about it if he ever put himself at risk. But a handy guy who maybe, like I started, I knew a little bit of karate, and so, or martial arts, and so I could do the odd kick, fall down, pretend to take a punch, picked up a few things, learned a few things about that. I was never really very good at it, so I headed off into acting. But when you talk about a show that has a lot of amazing stunts and guys flying around and stuff like that, uh, or riding a horse, or catching on fire, or falling from a building, or crashing a car, those are not the actor. In fact, they aren't just your average stuntman either. They're those particular ones. A special person was called in for that day or number of days to make that particular stunt. Because you see, they specialize in these things. They have specialized skills, equipment, and personnel resources in order to make these particular stunts happen. And they are very complicated and obviously dangerous as hell. So you would never ever put an actor into those positions. You can often see that an actor gets hired, and unlike Jared, of course, who can ride a horse, a lot of times the guys who get hired in a job where they got to ride a horse, they can't ride a horse. It's kind of an old joke among actors. If you get asked in an audition, oh, can you ride a horse? Everybody says yes. I never heard anyone say no, but I don't recall seeing a lot of actors that actually could ride a horse. It didn't really matter. Once you got the job, they didn't really care. They found a way to work around it. So typically, if a horse is jumping or running around, except for a few exceptions like Jared, as I said, that's not going to be the actor either. It's just too risky. And every so often, I noticed as well, Maze Runner was a good example, is that actors want to do more stunts. And sometimes they get their way. And sometimes it has horrible results. And it reminds us all that it's just not a good idea. Because there is really only one person that's irreplaceable, and that's the actor, him or herself, because the images have been made of that person, and all the shooting that you've done up to that point, there's no way you could finance a restart with a different actor. First of all, you brought all the resources together, and that's tricky, and you're never going to be able to do it again. So if someone says, oh yeah, he does all of his own stunts, it's never true. Okay? He may do a number of them. He may do the fall downs and punchy stuff. Those things are fairly easy. But if it gets at all complicated or risky, he's not going to do it. They won't even let him do it. So there you go. So what else have I got to say? That's stunt performers. I guess that's it. All right. I'll make another one of these. Check out my blog, Vancouver Production Pulse, yvrproductionpulse.com. If you want to support us, if you want to support the blog or these YouTubes, then you could buy something in our store, Pulse Shop, yvrpulseshop.com. We have a huge selection of stuff. We have some supernatural stuff. We have a bunch of other movie t-shirts, some fitness stuff, computer gaming stuff, other computer stuff, pretty much everything you need to make your own home studio, like we got going on right here. Lights and tripods and sound equipment, sound recording equipment, stuff like that. So that you can use, not typically cameras, but your phone, because that's what I'm using right now. So you can get pretty much everything you need. I have a couple kits there, but I've also got a bunch of loose stuff you can pick and choose, depending on your setup, whatever you want to do, okay? And it will sound better and look better, and it doesn't cost a lot of money, so check that out. And the YouTube channel, I think, yeah, I did. I got all the episodes up of Supernatural Fandom, the series, and a couple of trailers, so you can look at that. I'll try and upload some more stuff. Somewhere down the road, I haven't decided yet, I will post the feature both on YouTube and on Focus on Photography by Pulse on Facebook. That's my page on Facebook. I will post the feature film there as well. But for now, it is just the series and a few other little bits. I got a gag reel and an interview with Richard Speight Jr., which is really cool, and a few other things to look at. Okay? So, if you go and check them out, I bet you find something you like. If you're a fan. That's all there is. Thanks a lot. Talk to you soon.